Hello, my name is Teresita Blanco, the Artsy Sister, and this is the Artsy Sister Talk Show. And today we're going to be discussing 3 free-to-play fashion games. And the first one on the shopping one that we're going to be talking about is Infinity Nikki. It's the fashion game that everyone's like talking about. It came out on the 5th of December 2024, and it was published by it was published by Info Games, and like it's in the Android, it's like in the cell phones, in the PlayStation 5, and in the Microsoft Windows. It does like cross-platform, but I tend to stream it online on the PS5.
Because 4K resolution and
Cause 4K resolution and like my cell phone sucks. It just got off on my cell phone. I don't know if it looks better on your cell phone, but in my cell phone, it is unplayable. Like the middle one that we're looking at, the other one is Live Makeover. It came out on the July 2022. Oh yeah, no, it came out in July 2022 in Singapore and Malaysia, and then in Japan in December 8, 2022. So, and it was created by Artsy Games. Different place altogether. Because Nikki's was made by China, and this was made by people from elsewhere. And like Nikki, it has like all of the stuff, voice acted. Like everyone says the line, but like the in-game cutscenes they are done. But we'll discuss more of that later. And the other one that we're gonna be looking at is Time Princess, that was developed by IGGG Inc. I think that like she's like the American fashion dress, and they are like gacha game, which is defined by you spend some resources that can be like diamonds in some of them, or bling, or silver, or whatever. It's different across all of the games, and then like it releases a random set of items. So it's mimicking a type of machine that is in Japan, that is a gacha machine, where you never know. It's where you never know what type of outfit you're gonna get, and randomness and stuff.
yeah, my mama always said that life was like a gotcha.
Yeah. So now that we're done with like oh yeah, and Time Princess, it came out in August 27, 2020. So I think of all of them is the oldest one that we're gonna be looking at.
Yeah, but even Nikki's even older than that, because the
Well,
Nikki series has been evolving since.
Yeah, like Nikki started as like cutoffs of outfits, they didn't. It wasn't like a 3D model or something. It was like anime style dresses, and then build on top of a solid, on top of like an anime looking person. And then in Shiny Nikki, that's when they started moving to like 3D models, while at the same time they were working on Infinity Nikki. So a lot of like the outfits from Shiny Nikki cross over to Infinity Nikki. So yeah, these are like the three fashion games we're gonna be looking at. Like what they all have in common is that they feature a female protagonist. I only know one other fashion game that where your main character can be a dude. But but we're not gonna be looking at that one, mostly because you have to pay real, because they're not free to play.
A lot of people complain when Infinity Nikki came out that you couldn't play as a male character. I'm like, what do you want? Do you want to call her Nick?
Yeah.
Male version of Nikki called Nick, pink hair.
Yeah, but the joke for Nikki, and even more so in Shiny Nikki, is that her face was made purposely androgynous. So if you style her with like shorter hair and stuff, she can pass as a dude. So even just by changing out her wardrobe, you can play as Nick.
Oh, and also her actual clothing. I mean, her actual sprite model is up to the chest and then a pair of legs. There is no torso programmed in
Yeah, yeah. So if you wanna be if you wanna play the game as Nick, it is possible, because you just gotta shorten the hair and dress her up as a dude. And because at the end of the day, Nikki, she does that. Her sprite was designed not to have any another book, of that vagina.
No, you don't say it.
Whatever. Moving along. So yeah, like Nikki has a standard canonical look, while the main character from Life Makeover, she doesn't have a standardized look, and you can even name her. So yeah, like in my game, she's Artsy's sister, so she can be your main character. But the funny thing is that in Shiny Nikki, the predecessor of Nikki, you had a self-character insert where you, the player, had some agency in the world.
From what I've seen in the Discord, what they're telling me is that that character, the seven-star character, became the seer in Infinity Nikki. That she represents the person from Shiny Nikki that follows Nikki around and gives her.
Or the fan base.
Whereas in Live Makeover it's interesting because part of the advertisement for Live Makeover says that you can even be overweight on that game, but you just slightly chubby. That doesn't, like, a lot of the people on Reddit complain that when they read, you can be an overweight character in Live Makeover, but the option wasn't really.
And it wasn't that big, that little big of an option.
Like they were expecting something like the Victoria's Secret overweight models, and but it wasn't. It wasn't like, it's not overweight. It's just slightly chubby.
Yeah, but I guess you can see why they do that, because they don't want to because if they allow alternative bodies, what that would mean is that they have to change the sprite of the dresses, and then they don't want to recreate their entire dress catalog to accommodate for alternative bodies, which is the same problem that
happens in real life
with the white woman, because the fashion industry just doesn't want to deal with you.
Sucks.
Oh yeah, and then as for Time Princess, she has a canonical like brunette look. God, I don't remember what her name was.
She keeps hopping bodies like a parasite.
Yeah, she keeps hopping bodies throughout time. So if I remember what she's called. Because every time I start I forget. Every time I start a new chapter, she's Marie Antoinette, or she's this, or she's that. Oh yeah. What all of these maidens have in common, they do have common, is that they all have a sidekick. The Life Makeover maiden, she has this curvy looking thing called I, or artificial intelligence. The Time Princess, she has this fairy called Isabel, because fairies are. It's like an American game. Of course, the princess gotta have a fairy, and the Infinity Nikki Chinese game has Momo, a cat, because they love them cats.
It's not a cat.
It's not a cat. Who's a cat, but it's not a cat. He's Schrodinger's cat. He isn't a cat.
Depending on the art, because sometimes they're okay with him being a cat and he calls himself a cat, and then there's some arts like the later one where he gets angry if you call him a cat.
Yeah, he hasn't decided. Well, he's Momo from the Momo clan,
which is the official definition of his clan.
And
species. So it's more like a Feywish sprite. He has like his own little.
Oh yeah, we're already and sometimes he's a cat plushie, but other times he's a real flesh and blood cat that grew up with Nikki, but since he's been with her since she was like a little kid, obviously he's not a cat, because like a 19-year-old cat, it would be dead by now. He walks upright, so.
Plus, in some versions, he stores Nikki's memories whenever she gets something.
Whenever she gets like a hard reset, and in some versions it's like the thing that if you play all of the early Infinity Nikki games, Momo's just like the absolute worst.
Alright.
Yeah, but in this one, since they were trying to go for a wilder, kid-friendly appeal, they made Momo like the nicest person ever. Blah, 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 blah. But whenever he starts giving you sass, that's like the real Momo popping out. It's a head, but it's a cat, not a cat that can get away with being a jerk because it's cute.
Like, oh, you don't know he's a psychopath.
Yeah. And Isabel, she gives you like the tutorial levels, and in a different section of the game, she like gives you like various missions for resources, and in some temporary events, you like she becomes more involved as a character. But once you clear up the tutorial time princess, she kind of like becomes a bit more of a background character because you use a lecture, that's what they call it, a place where you read books, and then you put the book on top of it, and then you enter like the world of the book.
Yeah, like Star Tropics 2 in specific.
Yeah, like yeah. So that concept idea didn't come out of nowhere, and obviously she's a magic fairy. She's a magic little fairy.
Like, imagine if you time travel and when you first time travel, like, who did I become? It's like, oh, I am Mary Antoinette and I am about to be beheaded. What do I do now?
That's why I avoid this terrible fate. Never mind that it's gonna like mess with the sacred time. Like the time princess is somebody that the time lords are like constantly chasing after. Cause like what was the other letter? We're focusing on Isabel. Oh well, we're done with Isabel. Now the other one. AI or AI. That robot that she calls it a she. And sometimes even wears dresses. She was made by, I think Gero made it for like the main characters in order to help her organize all of her investigations, and also to help her in her styling things. So she whenever she needs to do like some quick research, she tells her robot, oh, like research this for me, and then she looks at the information. So she's she's a bit more useful than Momo.
I used to think that Momo was the one who carried all of Nikki's outfit in like a pocket dimension, but no, she keeps it in the Hollow Infinity canonically.
Yeah, or in like the backpack. Remember, like in the first introduction that she comes with a backpack.
Yeah, but they got rid of the first introduction. None of that is canon now.
And then they're gonna change their mind because we keep bitching about it, and then it'll be canon again.
I am posting that video every few days on their subreddit just to remind people that exists. And we will continue to do it.
Until they made that the canon introduction again. Yeah, what's wrong with she complaining about she not having a date because like Momo keeps getting one of her would-be boyfriend. Like a chastity chihuahua from like the movie White Chicks. Look it up, it's hilarious. The chastity chihuahua that bites the hands of any guy that gets to the.
I'm just glad that Teenies didn't make it to Infinity Nikki. She was just annoying.
Oh,
skateboarding chick.
The Marina.
Marina didn't make it into.
Teenies is the other annoying chick that is such a Marina. And she's annoying. Teenies. They made the fairies annoying. They made the elves annoying in Infinity Nikki. They used to be a genuine threat. Like they would drown, they would summon floods, create weird mystic moons that drive people insane. They would murder their father.
Burn people alive.
Yeah, that's a demon difference. But yeah, well then again they also did the burning thing. The point is like the elves were a genuine threat in like the Nikki world, like. But now the bad guys are the famous prize spoiler. Okay, but yeah, the Sidekicks.
They would like to keep people on the ground and feet on their.
For 10 years. Oh God, that is. They got rid of the introduction, but they didn't get rid of that. That is the thing that they gotta change.
This is not a cozy.
Whatever, like, gets dark very quickly. Whatever. So yeah, So now let's talk about like the plot. Now we're gonna be focusing on like the fashion thing of each of the games. Like the fashion of at least of Infinity Nikki in specific so far is fairy tale fantasy with a lot of animals and like fish element, and this is best exemplified by these two outfits where one is styled after a black bird and the other one is a mermaid outfit, a very nice floaty one with like lots of and lots of little and lots of fancy particle effects, like the types of outfits that would be impossible for it to exist in like the real world. Yeah, or what my mother would call naka. I show her the outfits in Infinity and she be like naka, naka, naka. What is it?
Still up for I would never wear this even with a gun to my head.
Burn better with Igni. Really? She be like, what the hell?
Well, that dress looks like a lettuce.
That looks like a lettuce. But yeah. My mother notoriously defeated it because it's very nagas. She likes to call it. In Time Princess, the fashion is, it's as the title says, it's fashion throughout the ages. You got like the Roaring 20s fashion, trying to 100% be as close to historic accuracy and sometimes even just copying and digitizing 100% like the Maria Antonietta outfit or the outfit worn by a different maiden.
Yeah, because I called Mary Anthony would wear butterfly wings when she was gonna get decapitated. That makes perfect sense.
Whatever. I avoided that terrible fate. But yeah.
Yeah, do you remember when Mary Anthony was almost decapitated and she had butterfly wings on?
Well, the funny thing is, like, you can, no, like, it starts historical, but then over time it leans more towards, like I mentioned, towards fantasy, and it even becomes sci-fi in some later chapters.
And then you have Romeo and Juliet with demons and.
Oh yeah, that's the one that I was like live streaming recently, the Romeo and Juliet, but then suddenly there were demons, and I'd be like, wow, this game. Me, but that's it. But since all of the stories are not interconnected, they're their own standalone stories. You can just skip the ones that are reading it. You can just jump to the ones you can just skip the ones that are not doing it for you. Not every plot is gold, and that's alright. And the same thing can be said on Nikki, but certain chapters in Nikki, but we're focusing on like the fashion, we got like the traditional Chinese one, the nice fluffy American ones, the Victorian era big bold dresses, and the futuristic ones. So yeah, you get the entire spectrum.
Which is interesting because the Time Princess one is the one that has the most fans, even after Infinity Nikki came out, because it's been out the longest and has a huge following in the US.
Yeah, like in the US, this game is big. But nobody's talking about it because like they haven't done they haven't had the need to go from mobile. Like I played this one on the cell phone in terrible quality.
But they don't need to go Infinity Nikki on it. They're doing okay.
Yeah, they're doing okay. Like everything like. But like they'd be like, we're continuing with this. We're continuing with this money cow. And in Light Makeover, like the whole bulk of the whole bulk of the fashion is in the game is science fiction. It has absolutely no. I haven't run into anything that's magical. Like the only most quasi magical thing that happens in Light Makeover is that the main character is a telepath, but as established by Akira, the mind reading is a standard sci-fi ability that eventually he meta-humans evolve into. So she's got some.
You think Light Makeover is gonna go Akira?
Yeah,
Akira version of that, but like full of like different outfits.
Yeah.
Akira.
Yeah, but yeah, the protagonist of Life Makeover is an Akira. Well, but she's still not at the point where she throws rocks at people. It's mostly the mind reading scene. And then they shoehorn fashion into it because she wears an outfit in order to break the mental resistance of the person in order to mind read them a little better.
Like, I feel like in those two in specific, sometimes I forget that they're a fashion game and then suddenly dress up for a funeral. And they should do the stylish.
Well, that's an urban legend because I replayed that chapter for live streaming and it wasn't wear an outfit for a funeral.
Oh no! Apparently they got patched.
Yeah, maybe they patched out that plot line because I played it recently and it wasn't wear an outfit for your sister's funeral. No, they didn't have that. Wasn't they patched that out? Like Makeover has a weird rivalry with Infinity Nikki, and even
like they cross suit each other, and a lot of the outfits seems to be very similar one to the other one.
But most of the fashion in Life Makeover is futuristic or postmodern with like sleek, clean lines. And as far as customization, I get a lot of customizations very easily out of Life Makeover.
Yeah, but the customization of Life Makeover and Nikki look almost identical in their interface.
In their interface. But with the biggest difference is that Nikki doesn't have the color white.
What?
Yeah, I can dye the colors of this outfit white, but with Nikki, it's like, I want to dye this a piece of outfit white. Why can't I turn it white? You hear that, Nikki? You gotta put white colors. Seriously. Yeah, what if I wanna change this black outfit into a wedding dress or something, or this blue one, and then I feel that this part of the outfit can work well if it's dyed white, so that it can be a wedding dress or a Santeria outfit. That's also fun.
Well, like a perfect example of the rivalry is that they both at the same time brought out a dress that was a gown with a key on the back. They both had that same outfit coming out at exactly the same time.
Yeah.
And they're distinct enough that they don't go to court against each other for copyright infringement, but they're similar enough that you're like, that's the same outfit. I just saw that on
I just saw it on Nikki. That's the outfits, the biggest outfit difference. But none of them are tied to anything historical, Well, this was more futuristic, while Nikki's fantasy, but Nikki also has an island in Shiny Nikki where they do like the sci-fi stuff. So maybe they'll eventually will do sci-fi in Infinity Nikki. But so far we've been stuck in Floral Wish for like 6 months, and the area's growing old. It makes me think, I don't think we're going to be, because when I finished up the chapter, they drew a trailer showing, you're going to go to this many other places, and we haven't gone there at all.
They also got rid of the trailer on the later update, so that's I think we're going to say in Flower Wish forever.
Yeah, we're going to, that's what we're going to die. Flower Wish,
Yeah, but now on the Black Shores, no wait, that's from Wuthering Waves. Well, on the Wuthering Waves equivalent island, the Shores of Infinity.
Yeah.
They have a place where you can get various boats as opposed to you're going to go to other locations. So maybe that's hinting that other areas are coming.
Yeah, and even in the Heart of Infinity, they're showing a different slide where it says stay tuned. So, but yeah, back to Life Makeover. So yeah, that's the fashion of Life Makeover. Very futuristic. But the light fashion of Life Makeover. It's not Naka.
Actually, that's something a human being would wear,
yeah.
Except for the neon wings that.
Yeah, except when it gets too sci-fi. Alright, so now.
So wait, you also need to mention that the fashion showcase of Life Makeover are way better than ones in Nikki.
Wait. Hey, the thing. Stop displaying the thing in the background.
Alright, let me see. No, I didn't.
Then I was looking at the wrong one.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the thing that is recording.
Yeah. Don't worry about that.
That was something else, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is recording this maybe. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so it didn't display for a second as an error?
No, it's just that since you dropped it down, it went away.
Oh, okay.
Like, don't hit the button up there. Just
Okay. Yeah. But it was there
Yeah.
for a while. Okay.
it's been there forever. It's just like when you went to the other thing, you press the minimize button. So then
Okay. All right. So now that we discussed the fashion, now let's go talk about the plots of this game in specific. So, yes, Infinity Nikki does have a plot. Well, the basic crux of it is that Nikki was isekai to Mirrorland in order to purify the darkness.
by a miracle outfit that dragged her there.
Yeah, by a miracle after that dragged her there. Or a wish that somebody made, or the wish that Giovanni made using the Auron base. So the wishes there are like very dangerous because it can even get people across time and space in order to go deal with problems that they have like no control. Imagine it's like somebody wished you into solving the problem of Elden Ring or something. Now you're a tarnished one because an asshole made a wish on a monkey's paw. And now you're there stuck dealing with a situation that...
So then the goddess Emma Stone gives Nikki the Heart of Infinity
in order to collect the miracle outfit so she can return to home. But then she hit her head real hard and then she forgot that her main goal is to like return home. And even in like the other Shining game, she was always thinking about like returning home at her lowest point in the games, especially in Shining Nikki, that where she would sometimes wake up and then she would be back home. So then it's a question of reality and illusion. And in the trailer that they deleted, it shows all of the ability outfits that were owned by Nikki's mother. So then she's her own mother? Well, or I don't know. It gets very weird.
All of that goes out the window because it retconned that whole ending. That
whole introduction, but in order to put the lesbian, what's been known as the lesbian out there in the Nikki community. The staff pick up there which is like flying around with like
with a goddess.
Hang out there with like a goddess that has wings and so, but somebody flying you romantically in the air. Superman made it romantic in the West. You know, nobody can fly with anyone without being a type of flirtation.
Like that, they single-handedly took the rating of Infinity Nikki from like 4.6 to 1.5. It was devastating.
The fans raged to the maximum level, and then in a cut they say, "Oh, Emma Cross got pushed out of existence. Don't worry about her."
Like she's no longer chained up. Now she's like, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm Emma Crow, and oh my God, it's Out of Infinity now." Oh, by the way, Momo isn't the... Momo is given to Nikki by the seer.
She's given to her. He's not her forever, lifelong companion that's been with her in 8 Nikki games. Or was it? I forget how many Nikki games there are, but Momo has grew up with Nikki. It was a plushie in some timelines.
Yeah, and sometimes he was...
it was brought to life by Win, whatever that is. By the Force, by the Nikki Force. Or, but yeah, and then over there what you're seeing is the canonical final boss of Nikki, which is Lord Shingen. The little Fey-Witch prize that kidnapped a couple of humans in order to torture them for 10 years in order to feed on their misery. That literally coffee game of the year. Coffee game of 2025.
Getting tiger brain for like 20 years to feed on their pain and misery.
Yeah, that's a cozy game. Alright, but like, wait, they really kidnapped this human for 10 years?
And then you go over there like, oh my God, please kill us and our misery.
We're very sick for lack of salad.
This Fey-Witch prize won't feed us.
This Fey-Witch prize won't feed us. I've been torturing us for 20 years and I'm very...
That's
They threw Emma Crow out the window, but not that. Well, at least shorten the time that they were kidnapped, because like 10 years, that's
Yeah, we're talking about the product, Nikki. One have to think pre-update or post-update.
yeah, because and they may patch whatever you say, and they may just
update.
yeah. So if you want to see the Nikki story before all of the updates got patches, I had the original stream with like the original opening with like the original opening, so
Before the retcon.
Yeah, so like when the Nikki plot was kind of very from update to update. It's not set in stone. Emma Stone. What was the name? Emma Stone. I forget. Not set in stone.
And of course, what happens is that she gets the wish for La Rosa, and then she wishes for everything to get fixed. But in the process, her wish causes the whole world to go out of balance and become a.
Well, her wish is that to wake the idiots out of a coma, but she doesn't wish for herself to like return home because then knock her in the noggin.
Yeah, she could have done that, or she could have wished for them to come back to her. She gets one wish with the wish for La Rosa, and that's it.
Yeah, one and you're done. At least with that Silver Girl area, you can wish for rainbows.
Yeah, but the Silver Girl area was created to balance out the power of the wish for La Rosa because the wish was so powerful that
so then
that it threatened to destroy the world.
And it represents the constant rivalry between the Pixies and the Feywild Sprites that are constantly at war with each other.
Yeah, between the Aurosas and the Silver Girls.
Yeah.
There are two in-lore factions that exist in the game, but they don't
in Flora Witch, where that are constantly at war with each other. In very cute ways.
Yeah, in the most adorable way.
Yeah, well, whenever they gotta do violence, they just summon Feywild Sprites, which are which is not Feywild Sprite, Easterling, which is your cannon fodder. Yeah, except for Lord Shingen, where it was legit a thorn Feywild Sprite, a giant thorn plant monster. Like at the end, it just starts spamming like a lot of attacks and stuff.
Yeah, I think it looks like that game from that Toho game from.
Yeah, it becomes a bullet hell. Well, not as much like in one of the last updates, the one of Bubble Season, it legit becomes a bullet hell with the boss, and you have to have like online. A lot of people struggle with a doggo boss. Because you have to know how to play because it's a fashion game with platform. No, it's a platforming game with fashion elements. Let's say it like that.
Yeah, it's like Super Mario, but he also changes outfits.
Oh wait, he did that in Super Mario Odyssey. Yeah. They did it first. And he has a lot of outfits in Super Mario Odyssey. But yeah, that's so then the way that the updates works is that you got the big update. And then a mini
silly update,
and then a mini story that's short and silly, and then like a longer serious one, and then another silly short story,
And every time there's a serious one, they retcon the whole story and change whatever they want.
Yeah, they throw the main canon plot out the window.
So if you're watching this in the next update, everything we said may have been out the window, and now Nikki may be a two-headed dragon or something like that.
Yeah, she can be Ghidorah. Ghidorah's fun. But yeah, that's the plot of Nikki in a nutshell. A very soon update to watch. Yeah, so yeah, moving along. Oh yeah, she also has like they also do a little bit of an where she's like interrogating somebody, and then when she fails the intimidation roll, the guy just laughs at her. And then I'd be thinking, and then watching Nikki trying to be serious, I'd be like, wow, I remember that time in Shiny Nikki where Nikki used artifact and then she pointed at an elf in the forehead while she was using her telepathy to like make the cops explode.
What about the one where she summoned a bunch of meteors and completely destroy a city?
No, she just summoned it to like make Ashley happy or whatever, like a weird like a weird mirror made and whatever. It's nuts. The point is that in the original Shining Nikki, the guns were fashion accessory, not just regular guns, but also like AK.
An AK-47. You
Yeah.
can see Nikki with an AK-47
In the Shining Nikki. But if it isn't Nikki, they threw that out, and then we think
like in those polls that they put in the game, whenever they ask us what should we add to the whatever, we always write weapons as fashion accessories.
we always put guns.
One Nikki.
You wanna make it to the America? You can put fashion.
Yeah, give it like a twin gun like Ebony and Ivory from the one try.
Yeah, the big housing style. But yeah.
Nikki a cannon. Nikki loves cannon.
Oh yeah, but enough about the Nikki plot that may be changing even as we speak. That may be getting retconned even as we speak. Oh yeah. Like in Time Princess, like the plot, like none of the stories are interconnected, but it has an overarching narrative where she has to go to all of the books in search of her grandpa. Well, I think it was her grandma in my version because even the introduction or opening of this game changes without this. So the first introduction that you saw may be different from the one because in the Wikipedia it said that she was looking for her grandpa or something, but in my version it says that her grandma was lost throughout time and space, and that's why she has to go through look to the books. But
yeah, it's Grandma McGuffin.
just random MacGuffin. The point is that she's you entering the book worlds in order to and then reliving the lives. And at the beginning, she's always disoriented until her mind is flooded by the memories of those historical people.
This is historical.
Not a historical babe. She's always a babe. Even in this one where she was gender swap Romeo and Juliet, but then demon series happened. It's just very weird. Like the first story that you always place is in Marie Antoinette, where you gotta like avoid the guillotine. And yes, you can get.
You can get the hair.
Get guillotine if you make the wrong decisions. But don't worry, there's walkthrough, so you can get guillotine either sooner or later, or you can run away to Switzerland with one of your boyfriends, or you can run away to America with Lafayette. With Lafayette, which is so. So a lot of the stories, like the bulk of them, a lot of them have like a shoehorn little romance. So then it just feels like she's traveling through time to date the historical dudes.
Until she dates Father Lawrence with it, which looks weirdly handsome
in the Romeo and Juliet gender swap story, and then it's like he has like a plot with demons, and I'd be like, wow, that's what Romeo and Juliet needed, demons.
Like this one is Father Lawrence Belmont. That's a word.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever. And I also read Time for Marie Antoinette. I also live stream already. Like the Phantom of the Opera, like it stayed to the book more or less faithfully and stuff. Except that they aged up Christine and they aged down the Phantom.
So it's not incredibly creepy.
Yeah. So. And that like in the book, they kind of have implied that he knew her back when she was traveling with her father. But in this one, they just flat out spelled it out for you that I was your fan. I used to watch you sing.
Yeah, but then the timeline doesn't make any sense because that would mean that he was under the employment of the Persian king at age 5.
I don't know. Whatever.
By aging him down, he throws out the canon of the original book.
But this is Time Princess. She said probably by she avoiding death as Marie Antoinette, she changed the timeline of the Phantom of the Opera where he was born sooner. The money that you messing around with timelines, it's like screwing everything up and just nuts. The plot of time, and there's also in a different section of the game where you go back in time and she meets her parents, her father and mother, and Back to the Future style, where she becomes their friends and stuff.
And she becomes her own grandma, like.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, she a lot of the plots is she dating the historical dude.
Yeah.
I remember that she kidnapped her own father. Oh god. Yes, that happened in Sailor Moon. Whatever. The Time Princess. Yeah, time traveling to date the historical dudes. That's the plot. I don't know if that's the intended plot, but that's the plot that I understood. That she's just going traveling through time to the historical dudes. Which was what Bill and maybe she's that daughter of Bill and Ted. One of their descendants that way. Whatever. And the life makeover one, that plot is like they kill her like she's her sister's a police investigator, but then when her sister gets killed, the main character becomes the detective person, and he's Hercule Period. It's like an Agatha Christie novel where she's Hercule Period, except that he's a telepath who also does fashion on the side. And like over here, you can see that like in the first chapter, they had like a character that 100% resembled Nikki, and she even had a cat plushie. But then Nikki sued them, and then they had to make her look less like Nikki.
So instead, they gave her a purse with a cat.
Yeah, but it's basically them making fun of Infinity Nikki.
So they make Nikki a psychopath killer, so it matches more the character.
Yeah. And like as far as like the chapters I've been into, like they always give the life makeover chick like a boyfriend sidekick that she talks to, cause like her sidekick is her eye, but she has all of the thoughtful conversations with like her tag-along dude that sometimes also engages in violence on her behalf because she's not a fighter, she's a telepath.
Also, this one is a little bit like The Sims, and you can have your own house and cook meals. And
yeah, like it has a section where you can like buy a house and like build it up and design it and decor. So
yeah, you know how everybody keeps saying in Infinity Nikki that you're gonna get a house and that you're gonna get to live in it.
Wow, Life Makeover did it first.
Yeah, while on Infinity Nikki they haven't gotten to it. They keep announcing it and then they keep changing their mind.
Yeah, they just don't know how to implement it without the server exploding. But yeah, the life makeover people, you can have a house, and she does get also like a pet, but it's not like a supernatural pet. It's a flesh and blood bunny, or like a normal cat, or like a normal dog, not a talking animal, you know? Because this is a sci-fi world, and the only magic is science.
Also, the houses in this game had the similar issue that the places in Dark Souls have, that it looks like they were built for way taller people than what she is, so she looks very tiny compared to like.
Or maybe because I chose as my sprite a child instead of an adult.
No, like you know how in Dark Souls it looks like all of the halls are built for giants. It has like that same style. Like the roofs are ridiculously tall and.
Yeah, well, or maybe that's just a problem with the house that I chose in the beginning. The only house I was able to afford early in the game. Where I look very tiny and everything around me looks huge. But I wanted to play as a shell character because I love the face that it has. It looks like it resembles my dolls. You know, with it looks like a little dog with like the tiny nose and mouth and that kind of. You know, it's a type of aesthetic that I like. And so what if my character sprite is tiny? But yeah. Aside from so we had like the main plot where the main character is investigating the death of her sister while investigating other stuff. Like other stuff happened, but I haven't like made it past chapter 10. So thankfully for you guys, it's not gonna be any spoiler because I've only played like the first third of the game.
What about the weird episode where there was like a romance and you were like?
Like life makeover, not like Time Princess. This one you can romance your tag-alongs, but those romantic stories are hidden behind the gacha machine. So you gotta like just get very lucky, but. The gacha machine of Life Makeover is a bit more forgiving than the one from Nikki in Time Princess, because certain pools you get like once every 2 days, one free draw. While in a different pool you get a free draw every day. So yeah, if you just keep playing the game, you may get like a lot of stuff to work with, and they also got like a weekly stuff, etc. But yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine Infinity Nikki if you could get like a boyfriend out of
like the draw pool? Well, you get them naturally throughout the plot, but then you also get specific stories romancing stories. but only from the draw pool area. Like one of them that I recently got, it looks very, like looks the at least the image introduction of that chapter looks very kinky. The dude's tied up and shit, but not like in a prison setting, more like in a bedroom setting. I mean,
Something out of 50 Shades of Grey.
yeah, gender swapped. Well, you're Dorian. You're like the absolute worst in that one. Whatever. Yeah, Light Makeover and Time Princess, they have something that they don't have, that Nikki doesn't have. Boyfriend! Time Princess dates the historical dudes, while the Light Makeover...
It wasn't Nikki, then Giovanni. I mean, there's already enough banners about that.
Yeah.
Just get it done.
Yeah, just pull the trigger, man.
Like, the next update needs to be the dating update. You can date Emma Crow or the policewoman or...
So Faye with Bryce as well. She had a lot of chemistry with... The Nikki had a lot of chemistry with...
Cinderella, right?
Not Cinderella, the one that wants the Naruto plot, the one who becomes the leader of the Faye with Bryce.
The one that becomes like Excalibur?
Yeah, that sword guy. She hanged out a lot with him.
Or that kid that also gets the Holy Sword in episode 3.
Yeah, in the firework aisle, she could date him as well. I know he has a canonical girlfriend, but Nikki be a telepath. She can. Also, Nikki was a telepath in Shiny Nikki, and they even kind of have hint to her ability to like enter people's memories in the celebration where the people are wearing the mask.
No.
I forgot what was that.
Carnival season?
Yeah, that one. Carnival season. Revelry season.
Oh yeah, Revelry season. There.
Yeah, where I remember that Nikki is also a telepath. So yeah, Life Makeover and Nikki, they're telepaths. Well, Nikki and Shiny Nikki, that was the strongest that Nikki has ever been. Nikki has never Nikki'd, like seriously. Where she can fight a goddess of destruction and desire on even ground. Using the power like that is a miracle outfit. I gave her the ability to like fly and shoot yeah. I think it used to be powerful.
And she got like a scythe.
Yeah, but
Who had this? No, she had a scepter. It was a...
The scythe was the goddess of desire. But Queen Lilith. But yeah, that's the crazy plot and different. One's a detective game, fashion game. The other one's a time travel dating with fashion elements sprinkled in there. And the Nikki is like a crazy fantasy adventure with a fashion shoehorn in, because over time in the Nikki, the outfits being a required element to progress the plot has slowly been pushed to the side. And in the last update, there wasn't even a boss battle, so I think even battles are being retired because guess nobody was able to defeat the boss from like Bubble Season. The Bubble Season had the hardest boss in Nikki. I mean, like, wow, this asshole really struggling with like this boss. But I'm good at aerial battles. I learned how to do aerial battles.
He defeated Roldan from Elden Ring before he was nasted.
Yeah.
From the DLC.
Yeah, if I can do the ring, I can do Nikki just fine. Whatever.
Just saying.
Yeah, I can manage. But yeah, those the crazy plots of fashion of like the most popular fashion games that are currently in circulation. I hope that this breakdown gives you something
to watch while you shut down your brain.
Just shut down your brain for a bit. So yeah, bye and God bless.